Follow the law. Call it out. Do everything that's within your powers to right wrongs. I mean, that's what judges are supposed to do. Minnesota federal judge issues major court order against ICE agents. There's the silver-haired judge. Minnesota chief federal judge Patrick Shlitz issued a scathing court order to Trump's immigration forces. He's expressed that, quote, the court's patience is at an end for constitutional violations. And when I look at his picture, I believe him. That's not the judge I want to stand before and hear him say the court's patience is at an end. Because he's not just going to say it, he's going to do something about it. So thank you, Judge. Temporary win for the Trump administration is inside this court order, though. The contempt hearing ICE Director Todd Lyons was obligated to show up for tomorrow has since been canceled. Why? Why? I want him to answer every single time. Here's what the order contained. In the order, Shlitz noted 96 instances in which ICE had violated a court order. ICE has likely violated more court orders in January 2026 than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence. That's what Judge Shlitz wrote. Court warns ICE future noncompliance with court orders may result in future show cause orders requiring the personal appearances of Lyons or other government officials. ICE is not a law unto itself. It feels that way. Now, I have to pause there and get your input, Elliot, before we give the rest. I'm not a judge. I'm just a big mouth who spouts off here. And I enjoy it, and that's my right. And we have a great family here. But I don't know why, given what the judge said here, they'd get another chance at all. Why they get another chance? Would I get another chance?
Yeah, you could say that there's a little bit of a double standard going on, and it's incredibly frustrating to watch. It's also frustrating when you have these, like, I don't want to say lone wolf, but they definitely seem to be acting in solitude judges who say the right thing, actually follow the law. But if they don't do it in the way that these folks think they should, then all of a sudden, I guess they're one of the bad ones. And so I don't think there's any real consistency on their part. And I also think that at some point, people are going to continue to get fed up to the point where action gets taken because we're not seeing any ramifications from these people's actions, and we're seeing them act brazenly against the law constantly. And so I don't know how you can continue doing that and think people aren't eventually going to say enough is enough.
I agree. Politico helping in the reporting here, so let's give you more. Schlitz's initial order came in the case of an Ecuadorian man, Juan Tobe Robles, who was released from ICE detention, the judge ordered earlier this month. Shlitz lit into the agency for violating the order after officials failed to release the man for days despite the court's directive. But on Wednesday, Robles' attorney confirmed his client had been released, mooting the need for Friday's hearing. See, I say you have it anyway. You're already wasting the taxpayers' money with your unlawful behavior, but let's just do it. The attorney, Graham Ohala Barbour, said despite the cancellation, he would welcome another opportunity to seek accountability for ICE. Fox News dug up Schlitz's prior donations to find a conflict of interest. Now you want to do reporting? Shlitz told Fox News Digital in a statement he has, quote, donated for many years to the Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota. I've also donated for many years to Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid. I believe that poor people should be able to get legal representation, Shlitz said. And what's controversial about that? In a petty back and forth on X over the matter, DOJ top civil rights attorney struck down on legal expert Ed Whelan his original post. A judge may contribute financially to legal service associations that provide counsel for the poor. A judge need not recuse merely because lawyers who accept appointments by such associations are also counsel of record in cases before that judge. Federal appellate judge informs me that that's the official advice federal judges set forth in a non-public compendium of selected opinion. So then it says, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but update Judge Schlitz's statement to Fox News where he says that. And then, Ed, do you have any clients You actually practice law in court? Serious question related to this post. Let's not forget last month's meltdown where she called MAGA influencers hoes. Is this what we're doing? Hoes for criticizing Pam Bondi. And now I'm thinking to myself, Elliot, remember when Carolyn Levitt or another staffer, yeah, she didn't said Carolyn Levitt, someone in the Trump administration, a spokesperson said, your mom to a reporter who was just doing their job, just asking, it's just a question. Like, you're the communications person, I'm asking a question, your mom in a conversation that wasn't even off the record. And now we have hoes. You're a hoe this, hoe that. How do we take these people seriously? Well, we have to, because they're wreaking havoc for every single American. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think this goes back to that trickle down decorum idea. I mean, we had a president just recently who I think said quiet piggy to someone. So I think that is up there. And then most recently, someone from ABC asked him a question and he just deflected and started saying, well, actually, ABC is fake news and this person's never asked me a good question. So it's a really good strategy, especially for people that are already on your side, because you can just completely avoid having to answer any questions by going for these really gross, low level ad hominem attacks. So I think their base eats it up. So it seems to be an effective strategy, at least culturally. Legally, however, I think it might be a slightly different matter.
Yeah. And to the judge, well, we already answered the part about giving them another chance. And who am I to second guess a judge who did say something pretty compelling on the record, documenting history that is often certain people want to erase. But to all of those who are illegally detained, I don't know if it helps to let them off the hook even one time. I'll give you the last word.
I think you're 100% right. I think we're in pretty much exact agreement. And I recall at one point, this judge or one of the judges mentioned that ICE has defied more court orders than potentially any agency in its
Mhm.
own history just in the past year. So I think that this is a systemic issue that needs more attention.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And can you imagine if it would have never happened? I would have loved it though. If I were standing at the podium as the press secretary for then, I don't know, President Obama, let's say, and I was asked a
Mhm.
question, and my response was, please. It's, it's so ridiculous that this is where we are. We're not talking about some podunk town, and I wouldn't accept it there either. But we're talking about a Department of Justice official calling people who don't agree with Pam Bondi, who is also acting outside of the law. Didn't she defy a subpoena from Congress? Or they wouldn't even do it. I can't remember which it is. Hose. Hose. God bless America, if you believe. This is what we're doing.